I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network, presents a Sertoba Media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
All right. I'm better than you, and you know it.
Hello, everyone. We are live for a very special WrestleMania Goes Hollywood preview edition for this episode 5 of the KAYFABE Express. I am your host, Drew Willingham, and welcome back to this all wrestling show that we have here. And tonight, we're going to discuss all of the matches that we have for this show. The WWE will present WrestleMania 39 live from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles this Saturday and Sunday night, headlined by the monumental clash between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. That contest caps a 2-night pay-per-view that will serve as the culmination of the top feuds and stories of the companies this past entire calendar year. Can Cody Rhodes defeat Roman Reigns to win the title that has eluded his family for over 50 years? A lot of years, guys. A lot of years. Or will the tribal chief maintain his status as the undisputed top dog in professional wrestling? The question is there. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think with my question I proposed to you there. Find out now with the previews and predictions for every one of the matches of this year's stacked WrestleMania card as I go through all of these matches that we have in store for the next 2 days, starting off with this one right here. Dominik Mysterio, and he has had some fire, especially since he said
I'm this generation's Eddie Guerrero.
You know, Rey and Dominik Mysterio will clash in one of the most anticipated matches on the WrestleMania card. It is a grudge match between father and son, between an iconic competitor and the future of the industry. What began with Dominik's shocking heel turn at the Clash at the Castle in September and carried on through the family holidays and even a short prison stint for the third-generation competitor will culminate in SoFi Stadium with one of the most emotionally fueled bouts of the weekend. The outcome would appear to be rather obvious, with Rey silencing his spoiled brat of a son and putting an exclamation point on a monumentous weekend that will also see him inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. That is likely the result we get, with a crowd-pleasing ass-whooping to boot. But be on the lookout for a potential upset if there are any plans to extend the feud beyond WrestleMania. If that is the case, a Dominik win would build added heat for him and the Judgment Day faction as part of that faction going forward. For now, the safe prediction is most sensible, and the one that I, Drew Willingham, have to go with on this eve of WrestleMania. I have to pick the legendary, the one master of the 619. I have to go with Rey Mysterio. I have to go with Rey Mysterio in this one. That is my pick on this call.
What?
I said that is my pick on this call when it comes to the first match that we will discuss in this show. Guys, let us know between Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio, how do you feel about this one? Do you agree with me? Do you feel like Rey Mysterio is going to take this first match? Or do you think it is going to be Dominik Mysterio? Let me know as we continue to move forward. With that being said, the next match that we will discuss right here will be the men's WrestleMania Showcase match. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. And tonight they had a fatal four-way on SmackDown, which showcased Montez Ford, which showcased Chad Gable, which showcased Ricochet, and which showcased Eric of the Viking Raiders. And we saw that tonight on SmackDown. Now, when it comes to this match tomorrow evening, or either that, or whether it be that evening, or whether it be on Sunday, this match, it's going to be a mid-card match. I mean, let's just keep it real between this match right here. But when it comes to this match, the first of two showcase matches added to the card in hopes of getting as many superstars as possible onto the show. The men's four-way tag match features guys who have certainly earned an opportunity to compete on a grandest stage of them all. The Street Profits and Alpha Academy have a long history of many matches, with Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford getting the better of Chad Gable and Otis as well, more often than not. Braun Strowman and Ricochet have emerged as formidable teams on SmackDown, while the Viking Raiders are a threat as well to any team at any time. The question is, WWE hopes to accomplish with this, is there any title opportunity at stake? It is a just cause match. It is a gap filler, in my opinion, that would better help with accurately predicting who might walk away with their hands raised in victory. Instead, looking into the future gives a better indication of who will pick up the win this weekend, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn poised to defeat the Usos and win the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. It would make sense to have the set heel challengers ready to step up and try to spoil their reign. Gable and Otis are on the outs thanks to the letters budding relationship with the Maximum Male Models and Maxine Dupree, leaving Eric and Ivar as the best option, with Ford and Dawkins potentially splitting, and Ricochet and Strowman, unlikely to challenge the more popular Zayn and Owens. The Raiders get the nod in this one. In my thought right here, I have to go with the Viking Raiders. Guys, let me know in the comments if you agree with this. Do you think the Viking Raiders take this match right here? Or do you think it's Braun Strowman and Ricochet, the Street Profits, the Alpha Academy? My pick here, though, is the Viking Raiders. With that being said, we'll move on to the next match, the Women's WrestleMania Showcase match. And with this match right here, we've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And the last opponent is a mystery opponent for this mother, father, and match. And with that being said, I have to give you my rundown of this. As opposed to the men's showcase match, which features 4 teams randomly thrown together, the women's match at least has an overarching storyline in form of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler's torment of the SmackDown women's division. Liv Morgan lost her title to Ronda Rousey, while Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, and Natalya have all suffered beatdowns and injuries at the hands of former UFC fighters. That those 4 women have formed teams and will now compete against the heels in Los Angeles is at least a fitting payoff to a very large amount of months of feuding. The wild card will be the final addition to the match, which is likely to be a team of Chelsea Green or Carmella, if recent creative decisions are any indication. They have no ties to anyone else in the field and would be there simply to get them on the card. Despite that, should a revenge situation for the babyface SmackDown stars, the winners of this appear rather obvious. Rousey has not won a WrestleMania in her last 2 outings. She is clearly the biggest star in the match, and nursing injuries should be expected when it comes to taking the W here. Do not be surprised to see her and Baszler potentially challenge Lita and Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship sooner rather than later. When you put this all in perspective, guys, when you put it all in perspective, and everything being said there, you have to go with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. That's my pick for the Women's WrestleMania Showcase match. Take it, love it, don't love it. I don't care, but you have to. Some people might say this.
Ain't nobody care. Who cares? Ain't nobody care.
But I, motherfather, and care. So you need to care. And I love you guys. Keep on caring out here in these streets for the women's WrestleMania Showcase match, because it is coming. Let me know here in the comments how you feel about the women's WrestleMania Showcase match, the men's WrestleMania Showcase match, as well as the opening one I discussed with Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio's match as well. Let me know here in the comments. Other than that, we're going to keep moving on to the Intercontinental Championship match. Now, this one's going to be a very, very exciting match, as we have had some hype around this over the past few weeks, especially with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus' friendship. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre beat the life out of each other over the course of the last summer in a feud that concluded with a good old-fashioned Donnybrook on SmackDown. The Celtic Warrior rebounded from his loss to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at Clash of the Castle and came as close as anyone to dethroning the ring general. McIntyre and Sheamus reignited a friendship from there, joining forces to do battle with Imperium. But recently, the former focus on dethroning Gunther has created a criticism in their relationship. Now, when you put this together and you think about their relationship over the course of years and decades within the wrestling business, you gotta put it all in perspective right there. McIntyre and Sheamus, when it comes to their friendship, joining forces to do battle against Imperium. But recently, the former focus on dethroning Gunther has created a schism in their relationship. The Irishman, accused of McIntyre of chasing a title he knows means a lot to him. And over the course of 2 matches, the rivals turned friends turned rivals competed for an opportunity to battle Gunther at WrestleMania. Except no winner was determined, forcing WWE official Adam Pearce to make a triple threat match for the Showcase of Immortals. Come on, guys. Come on now. 3 of the best wrestlers of the WWE's entire roster, all with a pendant for physical punishing matches, will go up against each other for the right to leave Hollywood with the coveted strap. The question is whether McIntyre and Sheamus can set aside their differences to do what no man has been able to do since his main roster call-up last year, and that is pin Gunther's shoulders to the mother, father, and Matt. This would be a great spot to crown Sheamus, giving him a run with one title that has eluded him over the course of his entire Hall of Fame, mother, father, and career. McIntyre could also benefit from having a bit of gold around his waist for the first time since losing the WWE title back in 2021. Despite those options, Gunther is hot right now, following a thrilling Royal Rumble performance, and the company clearly has plans for him, unless there are future programs already in mind for the other 2. Keep the gold on the ring general feels like the right move at this current time, unfortunately. Gunther retains, in my opinion. Gunther retains the Intercontinental Championship in this preview I have for Wrestle Mother Fathering Mania. Guys, we've gone through 4 matches so far on this card. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break and see what your boy has in store for some upcoming projects.
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network, presents a Sertoba Media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
What? I'm better than you. And you know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to KAYFABE Express, episode number Mother, Father, and 5. I'm Drew Willingham, back with the latest in the preview for WrestleMania 39 this weekend. We've gone through the first 4 matches covering Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio, father versus son, the men's WrestleMania Showcase match, the women's WrestleMania Showcase match, as well as the Intercontinental Championship match. After that, we have to go into this next awesome match, and that being the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Finn Bálor. The Hall of Famer Edge is here to discuss. This time, I have to bring in my thoughts with that. Finn Bálor kicked Edge out of his own faction on the June 6th episode of Raw last year and assumed leadership of the Judgment Day. Since then, the Irishman has made his life a living hell for the rated R superstar, including leaving both him and his wife, Beth Phoenix, lying at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view event last October. Edge has had minor wins along the way, including a surprise return at the Royal Rumble and mixed tag team victory with Phoenix over Bálor and Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber. The cerebral heel has cut short the celebrations both times, though escalating the rivalry to the point that Edge challenged him to a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. Bálor has teased dusting off the demon for the match, while Edge has alluded to a devil persona that may include some fancy wardrobe altercation for the show. Regardless of the attire, the match will have plenty of potential to steal the show and provide the feud that fans appropriately will think it could be a potential conclusion to their rivalry. That is, as long as Triple H and the creative team can resist giving Edge an overabundance of time to work with, because history suggests anytime he tries for a longer match, the contests tend to underperform. Like the Rey versus Dominik Mysterio match elsewhere on the card, this outcome of this one would appear to be very clear. Edge exercises the demon and puts this year-long feud behind him for good. This is an argument to be made protecting the demon persona, especially since it lost the last time Bálor pulled it out against Roman Reigns at the Extreme Rules and pay-per-view time in 2021. But this story needs to wrap up, and the anti-hero needs to get to that sweet revenge, and he will this time. This time he will, and it will be Edge. Guys, let me know in the comments how you feel about this one. Do you agree with this one when it comes to that? With that being said, the comments so far, let's go ahead and acknowledge these comments. So far, we've got Melvin Turismo showing up saying, let's go. Well, what's up, Melvin? Thank you for being here, watching the show live. Says KAYFABE Express is back, number 5. Yes, it is. We are definitely here in a different type of circumstances, giving a preview to the WrestleMania 39 2-night event. Oh, Melvin, we shall say let's fucking go. And that's my man Ike Doesn't Give a Fuck here in the comments from YouTube. Says, what's up, D. Willie? Well, what's up, my man? Thank you for being here for episode 5 of KAYFABE Express. WrestleMania is finally here, guys. It definitely is. Thank you for showing up. I definitely appreciate you being out here in these streets. I'm hyped for the father-son Mysterio match. Yes, definitely hyped for that as well. Darrell Owens, my man, thank you for being here in the comments. I appreciate you. KAYFABE Express, WrestleMania edition, let's go. Dom's promos have been great. They absolutely have been, and he has gotten better on the stick each and every single week, as I showed with that short clip earlier. He most definitely has. the second best storyline in WWE, and we'll get to that here in a little bit with what I think you're getting to, and that being potentially being the bloodline. This will be a fun match. It most certainly will be. Corey Mann is here with the thumb on the chin emoji. Keep it going, Corey. I want to see what you got to say as we keep going throughout this show. Gunther retains. Yes, that is my feeling with that one. Demon wins, has to restore the allure of the demon. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We disagree with that. We could potentially have that as a debate later on after WrestleMania on the Inner Out Sports Debate. We could potentially bring that to the airways. And Bálor needs to win more than Edge for sure. Yeah, and Edge has done a great job putting talent over as well. He could, but I just have a feeling. I have a feeling this time, Corey, that he's going to pick up the victory over Bálor, and that being Edge. Guys, let me know continuously throughout the comments how you feel within what I've got going on here with the topics at hand. But the next one we've got to discuss is the Brock Lesnar versus Omos match. And this being a test of strength, we got size difference most definitely with Omos. Omos is definitely a towering figure over Brock motherfathering Lesnar. And that being the match that no one knew they needed, because honestly, guys, we really don't. Brock Lesnar versus Omos will provide the physical spectacle that is a staple of WrestleMania, dating back to Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd in a body slam match at an inaugural event. Of course, we can go back and discuss that from the original WrestleMania, but this is definitely a different one in my opinion. Omos will overwhelm the Beast incarnate early, but Lesnar will most likely fight back and deliver his largest F5 to date. The clip will play all over social media and generate engagements and impressions, and the match, of course, will be deemed as success based on that alone. Easy peasy. Brock motherfather and Lesnar is going to pick up the victory in this match. Say what you want in the comments. Let me know what you think, but I think Brock Lesnar motherfathering destroys Omos in this one. Some of you out there in the comments are probably saying that.
Hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, to the no.
I'm sorry. That's just how I feel when it comes to this match right here. It's going to be a quick one. It's not going to be quite as bad as the Goldberg match, but it's going to be a bad one. It's going to be a pretty bad one. So sorry, guys. This is how I feel about that one. When it comes to the next match we have on hand, this one right here, the triple threat match, the women's triple threat match. Becky Lynch and Lita and Trish Stratus, the three-woman team against Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai right here. This is going to be a great contest with the greatest of all time in women's division history, more than likely, between Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, and Lita on the same team against Bayley, who's going to be up there. And, of course, Io Sky and Dakota Kai have a little bit more to prove, but I feel like within time they will get there. This could be a potentially looked back as one of the greatest women's matches in tag team match history on a WrestleMania card. We can see something great. Now, the tag team championships that Lita and Becky Lynch currently hold will not be up for grabs at this event. I see them potentially defending them at the Raw after WrestleMania, if not by SmackDown or the Raw the following week. But we'll see how that goes. But when it comes to this match in general, the battle for the women's division supremacy has been raging since SummerSlam in 2022, when Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky returned to WWE and interrupted Becky Lynch's show of respect towards Bianca Belair. A beatdown of the Man 24 Hours ignited a complete tribal rivalry that continues to this day and will write its conclusion inside SoFi Stadium. WWE Hall of Famers Lita and Trish Stratus have returned to the company to provide backup for Becky Lynch, who has repeatedly appeared to get one up on the heels and only to be the recipient of a beatdown at their hands shortly thereafterward. With the sides evened up, Lynch and Lita will most likely be able to wrest the women's tag team title away from Kai, and Sky will apparently look to deal with another blow to the Damage Control's plans for divisional dominance in a star-studded 6-woman tag match. And you have to look at that as the complete perplexion of this entire WrestleMania match. Looking at that, considering WrestleMania is traditionally the culmination of the top storylines, and this stretched long as it has been, one would assume that this would be the end for these 6 women. If that was the case, the baby faces would go over, and Lynch has the WrestleMania moment alongside 2 women responsible for inspiring the entire women's generation within WWE. Depending on if there's any plans beyond the show for Stratus and Lita, from the storytelling perspective, Bayley and company could win, but it would seem rather unlikely, especially since there was no consistent winning, even at the height of Triple H and the creative team's attempts to establish them as the lead heel faction in Raw's women's division. My prediction, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita take this match right here and get the victory at WrestleMania. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Let me see what we got so far in the comments since we last discussed it. Corey says, put this match in the trash, and that ain't it. The match of the night. Oh, okay. When coming to the Brock Lesnar and Omos match, that's how Corey feels about that one. Omos versus Lesnar is trash. I would have to agree with you, Corey. I would definitely have to agree when it comes to that match right there. Trish turns on Becky and Lita. Damage Control wins. Becky and Trish go into a program, and maybe until SummerSlam. That's a very interesting take. I would have to say, I like that one. I really like that one. And if somebody can't handle the truth that Corey just said, I got to give him this.
You can't handle the truth.
Because Corey may be onto something right here. I like the statement right here when it comes to Trish potentially doing that. We'll see how that goes. Definitely we'll keep tabs with this over the weekend as we have episode 6 of KayFabe Express and 7 this weekend. 6 tomorrow night at 11:35. We'll be covering the night 1 review of WrestleMania, and then the second one after that of night 2 for episode 7. We'll have 3 episodes in 3 days of KayFabe Express, so stay tuned as we cover this awesome event. Guys, keep the comments coming as we keep moving forward. Let's go ahead and see what we got in store for the next one when it comes to the Raw Women's Championship. And when it comes to the Raw Women's Championship here, this is definitely a coveted title that Bianca Belair has held for quite some time now, doing a great job with that. There are few who have been consistently great as her, as she has been the ascension of the top of the women's division in WWE for 2 years now. I mean, she has shown up, shown out, and delivered some of classic encounters with the top stars known as Sasha Banks, who is currently gone, but Becky Lynch and Bayley, who are still here as well. I mean, along the way, she has become a superhero for young girls to admire. I mean, look at what she has truly done for all races. She has definitely knocked down barriers and been a great WWE Women's Champion. I mean, along the way, she has become a superhero for young girls to admire, as I currently said. But when you put it all in perspective, she is a workhorse, continuously improved her performance, and is everything WWE had hoped she would become. And when it tapped her for the night 1 main event at WrestleMania 37, she has been solid ever since, going into this one now, WrestleMania 39. As great as she has been as a title holder, including becoming the longest reigning black champion in WWE, her run will end in Los Angeles at the hands of Asuka. The Empress of Tomorrow has returned to the company at the Royal Rumble, dominated inside the Elimination Chamber, and recently proved to Belair that she cannot be trusted as she pursues the top prize on Monday nights. It should be with no surprise that Mother, Father, and Triple H instantly resurrected the danger and mystique surrounding the Japanese-born competitor who he famously booked to be a great effect during her historic run in NXT. After her 5 years of inconsistent booking and questionable creative, Asuka is darker and more mysterious than ever, and by the end of WrestleMania weekend, she will be mother-fathering champion. At the end of the day, whether it's night 1 or night 2, Asuka will be mother-fathering Raw Women's Champion. I'm sorry, but it's time to take that character to another level. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that one when it comes to the Raw Women's Champion. Guys, we cover 8 of the matches so far. Let's go and take another commercial break. Come on back and see what we got in store for this show as we round things out with the final 5 matches. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for episode 5 of the KAYFABE Express. I'm your host, Drew Willingham, as we've gone through 8 of the first matches so far I have listed for this show. Another 5 listed left I have, and that being the first one, we'll go with the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship of the World. The undisputed championship will be defended from the longest reigning tag champions now, 621 days going into midnight. It'll be 622 days tomorrow as they hold the WWE Raw and SmackDown WWE Tag Team Championships. The Jimmy and Jay Uso twin brothers, the Usos versus the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens brothers, the Canadian brothers, here for this WrestleMania contest. The best story in modern wrestling history will conclude at WrestleMania, when reunited best friends Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will challenge the Usos for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. Zayn infamously aligned himself with the Bloodline despite Owens' pleas for him to realize that he was being used and manipulated by Roman Reigns. The underdog from the underground found out the hard way, but ultimately betrayed Roman Reigns in a stunning moment at Royal Rumble, and he did with that chair shot. He could come up short of winning the undisputed WWE Universal Championship from the Tribal Chief, then have his hard-earned friendship with Jey Uso disintegrate by the way of his beatdown that left him lying there in the ground. It left him lying there. At one point, he appeared to be a man without anyone to back him up. Then he admitted his friendship with Owens, that he told him his lifelong friend that he loves him, reigniting the bond, bringing them together in their crusade against the top faction in pro wrestling will continue on. The Usos have enjoyed a historic reign as champions, as tag team champions between Raw and SmackDown, mainly through SmackDown, but with, combining those titles last year, but when they faced off against RK Bro, they've been dominating ever since the division. They've been dominating the division for the entire time ever since then, between Raw and SmackDown, for the course of the entire year. They have seized the opportunity of being part of the Bloodline story has brought them, and they are arguably the top 5 biggest of stars in the entire company. Jay, in particular, has really established himself as a main event entity during that period. For the overarching story in progress, though They have not dropped the titles. They're lost to the first major crack in the foundation of the bloodline, while Sami Zayn and Owens have accomplished their own goals of bringing down the top heel entity in the business. When it comes to that, when I had to put all that in perspective, their win will generate the loudest of ovations for the entire show. And the Usos will likely have another great match on which fans will judge them by their legacy in tag team wrestling as a result. I feel this is going to be a night one match as the result of the pop. And I feel like Owens and Sami Zayn will win the titles and walk out of WrestleMania as the champions, as the undisputed tag champions of the world. Guys, let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Do you think that the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn tag team is going to dethrone the Usos, Jimmy and Jay? Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. And when it comes to the previous one we discussed, tough call. Bianca needs to win to hit a year as a champ and then the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion of all time. I go with Bianca. Corey says Bianca Belair wins this match against Asuka. We'll see how that goes. It's another good one for debate. We shall see. Thank you for bringing that to my attention there, Corey. Keep them coming in the comments, and we will discuss them as we continue on with these matches throughout the show. Next one I have to say, speaking of women's championship matches we discussed beforehand, the SmackDown Women's Championship between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Now, when it comes to this match right here in particular, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley have clashed on WrestleMania stage before. They really have, back at the Performance Center show in 2020 during the first COVID pay-per-view, which happened to be WrestleMania. On that night, the Queen entered as a challenger, seeking to regain the NXT Women's Championship for the first time in over 5 years by beating the brightest young star the brand had to offer at that point. She did, adding another title to an already lengthy resume, while Ripley experienced a bitter defeat in her Mania debut. The Australian, now a top heel as one quarter of the Judgment Day, will look to avenge that loss. There is no question that this match will be great. It was the first time, and Rhea Ripley had not near the level of competitor that she is now. She has a great presence and understanding of what it takes to excel on the main roster. It's something that she had yet to experience, being back at the turn of the decade. Flair is as good as ever, with propensity for performing up to that moment. They have great chemistry, and given the time, could easily steal the show from what could be a higher profile of stars. This should not be a problem with the 2-day format, ensuring the Queen and the Eradicator have the chance to live up to the expectations. Flair has a habit of winning matches at WrestleMania that really has no business of winning. And what we saw last year in Dallas with her winning over Ronda Rousey, in 2019 against Asuka as well, and in the aforementioned first encounter between her and Ripley. While it always is a possibility based on her history, this year feels different. Rhea Ripley has been a focal point under Triple H's regime, and that match with Flair seems like his opportunity to right a wrong of the past. He will, and Mommy will claim her first SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley wins the championship, and I feel like he could potentially be a main event for this Saturday's editions. We already know that Cody versus Roman Reigns is going to be this Sunday's main event. This could be Saturday's main event right here for the SmackDown Women's Mother-Fathering Championship. Let us know here in the comments how you feel about this one, guys, as we carry on with the matches. The next one we have on the card is Seth freaking Rollins. And as you can see with the shirt that I have on this evening, I have the Seth freaking Rollins shirt on right here as I rock his shirt as we talk about this now match between Seth freaking Rollins and Roman's counterpart, who we could say who challenged him before and failed, that being Logan Paul. The rivalry between sorry, I twisted my words right there. Yes, I did pre-type some of these words before. The rivalry between the social media megastar Logan Paul and Seth Rollins is a still, when it comes to everything, aforementioned in its infancy that we won't prevent from it being one of the most memorable matches on the WrestleMania card, because it could. It could steal the show to start either the beginning of the first night or the second night. Paul eliminated the Visionary from the men's Royal Rumble match, costing him the opportunity to challenge for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship in the main event of this year's WrestleMania. The following month, he responded to Rollins, calling him by costing him for the undisputed championship inside the Elimination Chamber. Since then, the two have laid it into a perfect hands situation that put Rollins down and out. It really did. History suggests that fans are in store for a show-stealing effort from the superstars. And when it comes to that, Rollins may be the most consistently great wrestler on the WWE roster right now. And Paul, in just 5 matches, has proved himself to be one of the most dynamic performers in the industry. I mean, come on, guys, let's be real about that. They will be, I mean, I'm getting excited here, but they will leave everything they have in the ring at WrestleMania. But who will leave with their arm raised in victory? Let me know in the comments. Who do you think will leave with their arm raised in victory? My opinion, Paul has lost 2 consecutive matches versus Roman Reigns, as I aforementioned, and the Royal Rumble as well, if we count that. And the idea of dropping 3 in a row seems a bit far-fetched. At the same time, Seth Rollins can't really absorb another big-time loss. And for as great as he is, his recent win-loss record on the big stages is less than stellar. Logan Paul needs to win this one bad and remain a celebrity. Does he? Or doesn't he? I don't feel like he needs to win this as a celebrity to connect with the audiences when he comes back. I mean, he really doesn't. This is not a big of win for Logan Paul as it could be for Seth Rollins. Speaking of Rollins, Rollins is an all-around year in and year out. Over the interest theme it may be, but he's a year in and year out competitor. And the fans will absolutely notice if he drops too many of these matches. Look for the Visionary to score the win and set himself up for a banner year in 2023, as I have the Visionary, Seth Rollins, winning this match against Logan Paul. Let me know here in the comments, fans, how you feel about this match here. As we round out the show, we have 2 matches left to cover. And before we get to the main event that I have, this is the next one that we have right here, and that being the United States Championship match. Someone who has held it quite a bit in the past, and that being John Cena comes back for a WrestleMania match as John Cena himself returns to the stage that he is very familiar with to face an opponent that he is not in the United States champion, and that being Austin Theory. The brash title holder is familiar with Cena, though having idolized the franchise star since growing up as a small child and modeling his career after him. Thus far, there has been very little in his way as an actual feud with Theory laid down the challenge by himself to Cena, and Cena himself accepted it, and the match was made for WrestleMania. Maybe that changes in the final week before the showdown, but honestly, with the final week now conclusion, since I wrote this whole thing, and now being the night before WrestleMania as SmackDown is concluded as well, I don't feel like it's necessarily that we have to. Austin Theory is ready to seize his spot in WWE hierarchy, while Cena is set to prove the Atlanta native is not ready. Except he is, according to Theory. Theory and Cena will kick off this year's WrestleMania in the show's opening match, potentially. As I've mentioned some other ones that could potentially be some great openers, but this one could open either night 1 on Saturday or night 2 on Sunday. SmackDown announced the United States champion will net the biggest win of his young career if he does. And it may even rank as the biggest with all that being said and done much later on. Theory will follow up last year's impressive showing against commentator and sports celebrity Pat McAfee by defeating Cena and announcing to the world that he is here to stay as the face of WWE's future. With that being said, Austin Theory retains and is continuously the United States champion to gloat about on the following evening's WWE Raw after WrestleMania. Guys, we've gone through the first 11, now 12 matches as we've covered them all in the leading up to the very big and final match that we have here on the card. But before we do that, we're going to take one final commercial break before we get to the main event of the show.
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network, presents a Sertoba Media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
What? I'm better than you. And you know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 5 of the KAYFABE Express. We've gone through 12 of the first 13 matches. Here on the card of the first two-night event, we have one final match to discuss, and that is this one right here. Roman Reigns defends his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against the legendary name of the Rhodes family, as he has come back to this company, that being Cody Rhodes, son of Dusty Rhodes, brother of Goldust, is back. And for 2 years, Roman Reigns has stood atop the WWE mountain as the undisputed top star in the industry. He has lied, manipulated, humiliated, smashed, stacked, and pinned anyone who dare stand between him and a successful undisputed WWE Universal Championship defense. I mean, honestly, guys, he has gaslit his own family to keep them in his corner, providing backup for the tribal chief in his quest to remain at the head of the table. Always scheming, he has been the ultimate bad guy and a rare heel around whom the entire company can revolve around. Many have tried and all have failed to unseat him. Sunday night in Los Angeles, Cody Rhodes will be the latest to give it a go. Unlike those preceded him, though, the American Nightmare will be successful. The 2023 Men's Royal Rumble winner has stated that from the moment he arrived in WWE a year ago, the story ends with him winning the title that eluded his legendary father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Finish the story, Rhodes told Zayn, and at the end of his own personal little battle cry, he will do just that, and his victory will be one of the most unforgettable Mania moments that lives on the annuals of WWE lore. The fans will herald this victory, and as much of the storytelling that went into the Reigns run at the top of Rhodes' emotional triumph, There will be pyro coming out on Sunday night's weekend closing broadcast. Fans will feel like they are entering a new era of WWE programming, and it'll be led by the grandson of a plumber and one of the most influential stars in modern wrestling history. Rhodes will win the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship of the world. How do you feel about that, guys? Let me know here in the comments, as we have now covered every single match for the show of shows, that being WrestleMania. And we've got some comments so far. Cody defeats Roman at WrestleMania, says Ike doesn't give a fuck. Well, yes, I definitely agree with you, Ike. And anybody else who disagrees, I tell you this.
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
Because we may have an interference from The Rock at some point during this match. Who knows? WrestleMania Hollywood could set up something big for next year for WrestleMania 40 and have a non-title match, but also be it a head-of-the-table tribal chief match. Who knows? Who knows? Some people might just feel this way.
Ain't nobody care. Who cares? Ain't nobody care.
I care. I care, Ike. I definitely care, so thank you for the comment. Grandma Daisy says, new subscriber, hello. Well, what's going on there, Grandma Daisy? Thank you for being here. I appreciate your comment, and we definitely want you to continue on, as we've definitely had a great show so far throughout episode 5 of the KayFabe Express.
What?
We've had a great episode here for the episode 5 of the KayFabe Express.
What?
As we talk wrestling on this show, Stone Cold, we have had a great episode so far on the KayFabe Express.
What?
Keep the comments coming so far, fans. Definitely appreciate it. It's definitely been fun out here in these streets. Evil Doink, Bam Bam Bigelow, 2024 Hall of Fame. We could definitely potentially see that. We'll see how that could potentially happen. And if anybody doesn't care about that, we'll have to tell them.
Would you please shut the hell up?
Thank you, Grandma Daisy, for the comments here in the chat. Guys, we've gone through all 13 potential matches. Not potential, but they've already been announced. And if anything gets announced otherwise, I'll have to kind of go and bring you the latest during the show's broadcast, as we will have the episode 6 and 7. Episode 6 of the KayFabe Express will be tomorrow night at 11:35 p.m. Eastern Time, as to discuss the Night 1 review of WrestleMania. And episode 7 will be the following night on Sunday at 11:35 p.m. Eastern, the same time, to discuss the Nightly 2 review as well. Thank you all for tuning in for this episode 5 of the KayFabe Express, this very special WrestleMania edition, to discuss all of the upcoming matches for the card and my personal take on them. Yes, I did previously write them down and read them off to you, but I wanted to make sure that I provided as much factual information as I could for this show. And now I'm going through all 13 matches. I feel like I've done my due diligence to do the best I can for you. So thank you very much for being here, as we have had a very great episode 5. Thank you as always for tuning in. And the biggest advice I have for you before we look at one badass outro is to stay safe out there in these streets.
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network, presents a Sertoba Media production, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
What? I'm better than you. And you know it.